Welcome to Cheese In Depth. I'm Michael Landis, and today we're talking with Adam Harris. He's the Senior Ambassador for Basil Hayden's, and we're going to talk about cheese and bourbon.
Hey everybody, this is Adam Harris, Senior Ambassador for Basil Hayden, and I am so excited to share a little bit of bourbon with your Beemster cheese today. You know, Basil Hayden bourbon is one of our small batch bourbons. It is a high rye bourbon, which gives it an elegant spice to go along with its complex flavor and light body. I think that it's a great bourbon for entertaining. It's a great bourbon to welcome friends with because of that approachable proof and that wonderful elegant spice that it has. Really delivers everything you want in a good bourbon. It pairs very well with cheese, and so what I'd like to do is raise a glass and kick it back over to my friend Michael Landis, who's going to talk a little bit more about Beemster cheese. Cheers.
When entertaining with cheese, you want to serve the cheese at room temperature. That means leaving it out for about 1 hour prior to your guests arriving. If you want to cut it, you can cut it cold, but a lot of times you want to have it warmed up so it brings out all the rich flavors of the cheese. I recommend that when you taste cheese, you take 3 bites of the cheese. The first bite is kind of an establishment bite as you're going through. You know, your tongue works the way of where you get the sweet, the sour, the salty, and the bitter portions of it. And that's the first impression that you get. So that doesn't really tell the whole story. So by taking a second bite, what it does is it brings out a little bit more of the flavors in the concentration of what you're trying to find. And so by mashing it around your mouth and giving it some time and then inhaling it, it comes up through your nose, which is really where you pick up the intense flavors. And then taking a third bite. By the time that you get to the third bite, you really start breaking the flavors down to a little bit more of a direction that tells you about the cheese. Is there a lot of butter to it? Is there a little butter to it? Is there a nuttiness to it? Is there a maple? Is there a caramel? Those really come out at the third bite. So it gives you an opportunity to be able to understand a little bit more about the cheese before you start pairing it with something. However, no matter what, it's going to change. So whatever you're pairing it with, whether it be wine, beer, or great bourbons, you're gonna get some changes in the flavor. But wanting to know what those flavor changes are is really about learning about the cheese and deciding what its flavor is to you.
All right, so let's go ahead and pair our Basil Hayden bourbon with cheese. What I like to do when I'm doing a tasting is I like to first taste my bourbon. Basil Hayden has that approachable 80 proof and that nice elegant spice with the vanilla and caramel in the back note. I move it around my tongue to get a really nice sense of the flavor, and then as the whiskey starts to finish, I take a bite of the cheese. And as those flavors start to blend together, and those aromas start to blend together, I like to take a little more sip of the bourbon and wash it down. Simple as that. It's a great way to enjoy Basil Hayden and Beemster and a great way to share with friends. Cheers.